Hello and welcome to Ryan Hennessy Wastewater Microbiology. Today, I want to just go through a quick sample microscopic evaluation report, which would be what we share with the client when we receive a sample. So I have this report here that's printed out, and I've um, crossed out the client's name for privacy circumstances. And basically, the reports all follow a similar template. Every report's going to have 28 pictures that are embedded and labeled within the report, followed by a focus photo at the end, which is representative of what we feel is the most significant microbe or morphotype present within the system. So all the samples are, all the reports start out with a general survey. We're looking at the Floc morphology, dispersed growth characteristics, higher life form organisms that are viewed, as well as what's predominant. We rank the filamentous bacteria on the 1 to 6 scale. And we also make a note of the percentage of filaments that appear to be healthy. From the filament standpoint, we're looking at, are they located within the flocs, dispersed, extending, or is it a combination? Sometimes there's multiple ones that may be checked. And with everything on the report, there's always a line, so we can further elaborate to try to communicate what we're seeing as best as possible. So, for example, filamentous bacteria impact on the overall floc structure. This particular report, it was low, insignificant, and moderate, so moderately low. So try to keep some flexibility and not just limit to one option there. So then we look at Zuglia bacteria, abundance, reverse India ink staining. Based off of that, sometimes we will recommend the anthrone test if we feel that the polysaccharide's elevated enough where we want to make sure that there's enough nutrients there for the bacteria. Did we see nitrosomonas, or did we see traditional polyphosphate accumulating organisms? So that's just kind of general abundance. Then we also have a fluorescent microscopy assay where anything that's alive illuminates green, and anything that's red, that's dead or non-viable, illuminates red. So we basically look at 20 to 30 flocs, sometimes a little bit more, and get a general average of how much appears to be alive versus dead. Then every report is going to have a table of the morphotypes of significance and their ranking. And then anything that's less than some, it's going to be demonstrated or kind of noted on the bottom here. Significance of findings, we're going to talk about associated causes with particular filaments and other indicator organisms, and then other general notes about the sample. There are certain keywords in this part of the report that are going to trigger keywords definitions. For example, if I mention organic acids, it's going to, on page 3, it'll kind of summarize what they are and things of that nature. Additionally, we're in the process of, in addition to the book, having some information on the website available of any particular microbe type that's mentioned in the report, so it can be easily referenced to learn more about it. So just going through this report here, you can see the flocs, irregular in shape. They're kind of in between. I wouldn't necessarily call them firm or weak. I believe this particular plant has about a 120 SVI, which is not necessarily bad. However, it going back to the the ranking system, I just put irregular in shape, and then in the notes I just mentioned that there's kind of some that are firmer, some that are more diffuse. So we had Zuglia bacteria, Zuglia, finger Zuglia colony on that picture. Stalk ciliates were the predominant higher life form organism. Every report's going to have the polysaccharide, the reverse India ink stain, different filaments and morphotypes that we see. Anything that's mentioned on the table is generally going to have a corresponding picture attributed along with it. And every sample also includes the gram stain and the Neisser stain. In this particular sample, we have very common abundance of actinomyces, Mycolata filament types. Some people refer to them as Nacardioforms. So that's mentioned here, and then also the viability. So this is kind of a representative indication of what I would call about 75% green in the sample, and Zuglia bacteria types were very common within the flock, and we felt that they were the most significant, so that was the focus photo. So every report is also going to have on the back, feel free to reach out and we can set up a call or a Zoom meeting or something and talk about the findings. The purpose of the micro report is really to get an indication of what bacteria types are there, what are the associated causes, and in order to, talk about any kind of operational changes or anything along those lines, you really have to have a good understanding of all the moving parts and all the details in the plant. And there's sometimes more than one right thing in terms of what to do. So what I like to do is I like to kind of get an idea for how things are looking, what's the general urgency, and we look at potential options. And ultimately, I share things that I see other plants doing, and ultimately it's up to the choice of whoever's in charge of the plant to do what they feel most comfortable with. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and look forward to hopefully working with you. Take care. Bye.